Hi there, my name is Lo. Welcome to my channel where I discuss everything between Hermes and grocery bags. Welcome to a new video. It's another sit down video because today I am doing a tag. I've been tagged by the lovely Danny from This Is Danny O to discuss my unwish list for 2024. So all of the things I am not planning to get. So before we get started, I also have a little public service announcement to make. Danny and I will be doing a collab video on the 1st of June about a topic that spoke to both of us. So to stay tuned for that, definitely subscribe to my channel and Danny's channel and switch on your notifications. But today's video is about my luxury unwish list. As per usual, I tend to give a little twist to tag videos. So in today's video, I'm going to discuss 10 brands from which I do not wish or expect to make any more bag purchases in the current year. So without further ado, let's jump into it. To make it a little bit more interesting, I'm going to start off with the brands that have a little bit of a lower price point and then go all the way up to the brands with a higher price point. So the brand I want to get started with is Eigner. This is my Eigner Eva bag. EVA. They also have an Eva bag. Actually, nothing wrong with this bag. Really like it. Quality also definitely has not let me down. I have been watching Eigner for a little while, but more recently I have just been noticing that whenever I'm looking for bags, I am not filtering on this brand anymore. And I think it's going to be a recurring reason with a number of the brands I'm going to discuss today. They just don't really have any other styles that I'm interested in. So despite the quality, I don't think I will be making any more purchases from Eigner this year. Next up, I'm gonna go with LM. This is their raisin bag. They also have this in other sizes, but then they have different names. So LM is a French brand, not super well known, but initially I was quite interested because they have these very structural pieces. I have two of their bags. I also have the Vosk bag, which is more of a tote. With both of those bags, I have just not really been loving the leather that's on them. The leather is very treated, but like not in an interesting way, I would say. Like if you get mock rock, then it's also very treated leather, but then still it has a structure. This has all of the treatment without, in my opinion, any of the interest or the benefits, because I do still feel like these bags are quite delicate. Perhaps I would be happier if I would just get them in a grained leather, but by now I have kind of lost interest in these bags and hence also have lost interest in the brand, so I do not expect to be making any more purchases from them. Then next up, perhaps a little bit of a surprise, it's Demolier. This is the Demolier Vancouver bag. I also have the Demolier Lausanne, and I think that's it in terms of Demolier bags that I have. In principle, not so much wrong with either of these bags. Actually, they're perfectly fine, although I do have to say that I'm still terribly scared of damaging the hardware on this piece, so I still have the stickers on, which is not looking amazing. But in any case, I tend to put Demolier sort of in the same corner as Aspinall of London and Strathberry, because they are all brands from the UK, and I just think in terms of pricing, quality, design, this is just my least favorite of the three. Aspinall is my preferred brand. I really like the designs and the quality on their styles, although I haven't had the best experience shopping with their website directly. In any case, perhaps I would still get the Montreal bag in the midi size, but in general, I think it's unlikely. I haven't been looking for this brand in quite some time, while I will still very often check Aspinall's website, for example. So that's why I think no more Demolier for me. And then perhaps another surprising one, and it is Marc Jacobs. So in the past year and a half or so, I think I have collected all of the sizes of the Marc Jacobs the tote bag, except for the Nano, which I don't really feel is a bag, but more of a bag charm. And I think in that sense I've reached the point of satisfaction. I really like the tote bags. I still use them, especially this mini size that comes in very handy. But I've just been noticing that I don't want to get duplicates, so I don't want to get any more tote bags from them. I haven't been all that inspired by other designs that they have been doing. I've been checking out their denim collection, but that was horribly overpriced to the point I'm almost finding it offensive. So I think I just have my fair share of Marc Jacobs, and I don't really plan to buy any more from them in the current year, but it will really depend on what they decide to come out with. It's getting a bit difficult to determine if I'm doing the right ordering in terms of price point, but I hope you are still with me. Next up, I am going to talk about APC. I have a couple of the APC Grace bags. So this is the baguette, which I also reviewed recently. I think these are super stylish, classy bags. I don't find them the most practical, but they are definitely very beautiful, so I do enjoy using them. I guess I like having classics of some brands, but then otherwise my interest can also deteriorate very quickly. Looking at their designs otherwise and knowing, at least from this bag, what kind of leather they use, a lot of their designs tend to be pretty structured, pretty stiff. Again, I've been finding nothing really interesting and that I haven't been looking out for this brand recently. And then next up is Wandler. Wandler is a Dutch brand. So initially I got a couple of bags from Wandler because, again, I like how these bags are designed, how they are structured. I thought it was pretty cool that it is a Dutch brand that has gained some popularity across the world. I think perhaps a little bit more in Asia than in the States, but nevertheless. I have 3 of their bags, the Lynn, the Maggie, and the Penelope in the regular size. What I've been finding with these bags, I'm not really sure if I can call it a quality issue, but the thing with pretty much all of these bags is that the leather that they use is quite soft for a bag that is quite structured. And if you are doing that, you will just get creasing on the bag, and perhaps because this is also a very light one, you will see these sort of bends and creases arise. I always store this just open so that it cannot just crease by itself, but yeah, that's not how you're gonna wear the bag, of course. So I suppose it's in the design, and it actually is in a lot of their designs where these bags are supposed to mold and fold and shape, and the leather that they are using in that sense is just a bit too thick to do that properly. On the other hand, I have been finding that the leather is also quite delicate. I already made a couple of scuffs on my Penelope bag, fortunately on the back of it, but I am always cautious with my bag, so I don't really know how that happens. And finally, I've been finding with Wandler that because of the increased popularity, the prices have gone up significantly. So where before I could easily get their bags with 50-60% discount, I'm seeing less of that, and with the higher prices it is just not really at an interesting price point for me, combined again with the fact that I feel I really already have their classics, and the new things they are coming out with I just don't like all that much. So I think that kind of pushes us more into the luxury or low luxury segment of brands that I'm gonna discuss now. So first up is J.W. Anderson. This is their Pierce bag. This was an it bag a good number of years ago, I think, like even pre-pandemic. But I've told you guys this before. This was one of the first designer bags that I really fell in love with. So even though it had already gone out of production, I really wanted to have it. I still think it is really cool with the chunky hardware. I love the detachable strap on it, so I can switch out the straps, even wear it crossbody if I want to. So this bag is a win for me. Leather on this is absolutely gorgeous, by the way. And this is also one of those cases where I felt, well, I like this bag so much. I like the other work of J.W. Anderson quite a bit. He designed the puzzle bag from Loewe, for example. So I figured I must like what this guy has to offer. But I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson, I am just not that into you. Great job on this bag, great job on some other bags. But if I'm looking at the brands J.W. Anderson, most of what I see there, I just don't find all that appealing. A lot of items are pretty loud. They have a very big hardware, for example. The very big chain is quite well known. I think there's one other bag that I could potentially like. For the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it, but I will find a picture and insert it. But overall, just not really into it. So that's also off the radar and off the wish list. Then I want to discuss Givenchy. Again, also a brand of which I have a couple of classics. So this is the Mini Antigona. Really nice bag. I know that people feel like this bag is done and over with, but I still think it is a classic. You could disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. I also have the Pandora. I know people have very mixed feelings about that. It's definitely one of the most practical designer bags out there, if you ask me. But again, I just don't feel like Givenchy really has been hitting the spot recently. They did a hobo some time ago that was quite cute, but I don't really like my small and medium-sized bags to be so open. So again, just not really that interested anymore, and also have been feeling like the prices have been going up on Givenchy items. For me, it's just not worth it anymore. And then next up is Chloe. This is my Marcy bag. This has made an appearance numerous times, usually because I will tell you guys, this was my first designer bag and it was definitely not a good purchase because it's not the right size for my lifestyle. But this is also one of those Chloe classics that I really wanted to have. I still think this is a gorgeous bag. The leather on this is amazing. I should really just start forcing myself to wear this more. I can't even wear it over the shoulder, probably not with a thick coat. But in any case, that's not what we meant to discuss today. There's just not so much from Chloe that I like. It's generally not really my vibe. It's a bit on the boho side of things, I guess you could call it. Although they also do have some more classic pieces. Of course, they had the Woody tote, but when you have the Marc Jacobs tote bags that have a zipper on top, I just never really felt interested to add that to my collection. So again, for the type of money that Chloe is, because yeah, they do belong at the higher end of things, and in terms of quality I can totally understand, but if I am spending that type of money on a bag, I must absolutely love it, and Chloe has just not been appealing enough for me. And then it is down to the final two. I'm thinking, which one shall I do last? Let me talk about YSL or Saint Laurent first. This is the Cassandre clutch, I want to say. It's this envelope style clutch that you can also easily convert into a bag. It is really popular. I also have this one in the black in a different type of quilting. And then I have a YSL East-West tote. When I started buying Saint Laurent, you could still get some things on sale. And it was a good amount of price increases ago. I think by now, even though there are still some styles I like from YSL, like the Lulu and the Nikki, the price point it has reached and the likelihood of getting a discount on those bags, those odds are just so slim now that I would like to have them. But I also know that I'm not paying that type of money for a bag in general, and especially with the YSL bags, they are very classic. They will definitely stand the test of time, or at least a lot of them I think will stand the test of time. But to some extent I also find them a little bit less interesting, because the Lulu and the Nikki, for example, they are just these chained flap styles of bags like so many others. It's not like having an Antigona, for example, where you actually have something with an interesting shape and a chunky zipper or something that stands out a little bit more. So as much as I do like YSL, I just mentally put it on the unwish list because odds of me getting another bag are just becoming pretty slim. And that brings me to the last brand, and that is Loewe. This is my Loewe puzzle in the small size. One of my favorite bags in my collection still. Very happy to have gotten this when I got this, because I think similarly to YSL, Loewe has gone up in price tremendously and they are doing less discounts. So this I could still get with 50% off for their classics. I just don't see that happening anymore. I think I got really lucky because when I bought them, it was probably the last year where they still had solid discounts. I think Loewe will still go a little bit on sale, especially for the bags that are not so popular. But again, I feel like most of what I liked from Loewe I have in my collection. So I have the puzzle, I have the flamenco, and I have the hammock. Those are definitely the classics, the most popular bags that everybody wants to have. I'm really happy to have those. And again, ever since, not all that much from this brand has been appealing to me. So as much as I like the bags that I have, and this relationship to some extent I've had with Loewe in the past, right now they are off my wish list for 2024. I just don't really see myself adding any more of their bags. I need to move on to other things that I like. So that brings me to the end of the video. Looking back on all of these bags, I think with a number of brands I have been disappointed in the quality. With some other brands I just don't really feel like the price quality ratio is there anymore. Some brands have just priced me out completely, but really with most of these brands I'm still good, but I have gotten from them what I wanted to get. A lot of the new things they have come out with I personally haven't really found all that inspiring. That could definitely change over time, but for now I'm just putting them on the luxury unwish list so I can direct my attention to things I actually do really want to get. So I'll leave it at that. Let me know down below in the comments what is on your luxury unwish list, and as usual I will tag my YouTube friends in case they're interested in also discussing this topic. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel because I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's it for now. Remember, there's a style in a situation and a taste for everything, so don't judge. Wear whatever the bag you like. Until next time, en laten we het say in Dutch. Doei!